Good evening, New Era Gardener. This is a bin I went through last night. Noticed that there was a lot of cocoons. I took out about 100 cocoons. And I was gonna start a new bin with this. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna scrape the top off and down probably about an inch, because that's where a lot of the baby worms are. I actually fed the bin some worm food, powdered worm food, and it's pretty much all gone. So between the regular worms and the baby worms, they seem to come up and eat. I know you may not be able to see, it's probably a little dark, but there's cocoons all over here. Like I said, I went through this last night, dug out some worm cocoons. Like I said, about 100. I already started a bin. I put about an inch of bedding in it. Now I'm gonna take about an inch of this and put it into that and basically get the baby worms out. Alright, so I'm just gonna start to scrape a little bit of it off the top. There's tons of just baby worms there. And this thing is full of baby worms. Right there's a ton of baby worms. I'm just gonna take off just the top couple of inch, probably, like I said, probably about a inch, just until I stop seeing. Gonna leave the bigger worms behind. I don't want them in there. But I mean, there's tons of worms, baby worms that I see. And I'll just start a new bin. I'm just looking just to see if I actually picked up any bigger worms. I mean, this thing is full of cocoons. There's cocoons all over. I wish I could you could really see. I mean, I'm just scratching the surface, and the amount of baby worms that are in here. Is just outstanding. This is gonna be another, it's gonna be another healthy bin. I mean, cocoons, baby worms, large worms, but I'm really not trying to get, there's tons of baby worms down here. I don't want to dig up big worms. I just want to get all the baby worms out. Just so that in the cocoons that I'm pulling out, this thing is full of cocoons and baby worms. So that's probably as far as I'm gonna go down. But I am going to kind of mix it up a little bit. And just mix it up a little bit. I like to fluff it up every so often, every couple of weeks. Kind of fluff it up just so what gets matted down, you bring up to the top. Any excess moisture that might be at the bottom, you bring it up to the top. So, yeah, I forgot. This worm bin also has biochar at the bottom. I heard it once I started going a little too deep. So, and I kind of wonder if the biochar has a lot to do with all these cocoons. Because if I recollect, one of the other bins that I actually also went through, there was a lot of cocoons in there also. Nice stick. This bin was a bin, like I said, that I actually had organic matter in when I cleaned out my bin at the end of the season, and I went through and took out all the compost. This is the outside compost, not a worm bin from outside or inside. This was a compost bin from outside. When I took that bin and cleaned it out, got all the compost out, you know, you have a lot of remnants of what didn't break down yet. And it was grass, it was sticks, it was leaves that didn't break down 100% at the bottom. It's got biochar in it. And I wound up taking that and put it in this bin, and that bin had a lot of worms that were mixed in, and it was a lot of cocoons. So that's where a lot of these have come from, and they're nice, big, healthy worms. So and like I said, this bin, I'm probably going to sell these worms, put these worms out for sale, go through it, get what I can out of it, see how many, if it's a pound of worms, half a pound of worms, whatever it is, and then I'll list them to sell on eBay, where you can get my castings. You can get my biochar and active biochar on eBay. You can go on and look for just worm castings, biochar, active biochar. It's 653R is my username on eBay, and you can see what I have out there. If you're looking for worms, you can take a look at those, but I won't be putting the worms out for sale until the weather gets a little bit warmer, so that there's no issue with me shipping worms anywhere. So, alright, so I just wanted to show you that. I really wish there was a whole lot more light in this bin where you could have really seen the baby worms. I do have some light, but I don't know if that light really shows. But believe me, the amount of cocoons that are left in this bin is just crazy. Maybe I'll even let me move this. This is the bin. I mean, there's a cocoon there. Another cocoon there. Another one some there. I mean, they're all over. That's a nice cocoon color on it, and has a lot of baby worms in here. I'm just gonna throw a little bit of my normal bedding on top of this. Just to cover this up. Give me a second. What I do is I make my bedding up ahead of time so it can sit and ferment. And I'm just gonna put a light coating over it. It's got a coconut core. It's got newspaper. It's got regular white paper, and it has cardboard in it. And it's also been amended with other minerals, rock dust, fat guano, alfalfa, and some other amendments. So that's all I'm gonna do is just put a coating over it, just to kind of hide the other compost that's there and the castings. So all right, that's it. This is the new wormery that should produce a lot of nice sized worms for me, with all the baby worms that's in here and the cocoons. And we'll keep an eye on this, and maybe I'll come back and shoot a video in about a month or so and see what we got as far as how they're doing. If you can see them and see how many worms are in there and hatched and starting to get big, and we'll go from there. All right, thank you for watching New Era Gardener. Enjoy your evening.